For decades, the undisputed titans of the tech world reigned supreme. Western corporations, fueled by proprietary software and vast R&D budgets, set the global standard. From our operating systems to our mobile apps, our cloud infrastructure to our most advanced AI, the narrative was clear. Innovation flowed primarily from Silicon Valley, from Europe. But beneath the surface, a seismic shift has been building. A silent tsunami, powered by an unexpected force. Open source technology, cultivated and weaponized by a nation once dismissed as a mere imitator. This isn't just about chips anymore. This isn't just about trade wars. We are witnessing a fundamental reordering of global technological dominance, a strategic maneuver so audacious, so sweeping, that most of the Western world is still catching its breath, trying to comprehend the sheer scale of it. Did China just find the ultimate lever to crush Western power in tech? Is the global tech landscape about to be unrecognizable? The answers, Revo Now Nation, are not just surprising. They are a wake-up call for the entire planet. Before we unveil the full implications of this paradigm shift, if you're ready to unlock the hidden forces shaping our digital future, then you know the drill. Hit that like button right now, share this video with every tech enthusiast and geopolitical observer you know, and most importantly, if you haven't already, subscribe to Revo Now and tap that notification bell. Your engagement is our fuel, helping us bring these critical, untold stories to light. For the longest time, the concept of open source software, OSS, was seen as a collaborative, almost idealistic movement. Developers globally contributed to projects like Linux, Apache, Python, and countless others, building the foundational layers of the internet and modern computing. Western tech giants, while often using open source themselves, largely built their empires on proprietary ecosystems, closed source code, patented designs, and carefully guarded intellectual property. This gave them immense control, fostering vendor lock-in and allowing them to dictate terms and standards globally. China, for a significant period, was a major consumer of this Western-dominated tech. They adapted, learned, and often, yes, replicated. But beneath the surface, a strategic seed was being planted. The US sanctions, particularly those targeting semiconductors and cutting-edge AI technologies, initially appeared to be a crippling blow. The intent was clear: to slow China's technological ascent, to prevent them from accessing the advanced chips and software tools deemed critical for next-generation computing and national security. However, what the sanctions inadvertently accelerated was China's already burgeoning commitment to technological self-reliance through open-source innovation. Instead of being merely a user, China's government, academic institutions, and colossal tech companies, from Huawei to Alibaba, Tencent to Baidu, began to view open source not just as a cost-saving measure, but as a strategic imperative for digital sovereignty. The strategy is multifaceted. First, massive state-backed funding is pouring into open-source projects and foundations within China. The goal isn't just to contribute to existing global projects, but to incubate and lead new ones. Organizations like the Open Atom Foundation, China's first open-source foundation, are providing neutral IP custody and fostering community governance for critical projects. This centralized yet collaborative approach is a distinct departure from the more decentralized organic growth of open source in the West. Second, China is aggressively pushing its own open-source alternatives in critical sectors. Consider the RISC-V architecture. While not Chinese in origin, China has invested heavily in developing its RISC-V ecosystem, seeing it as a viable, open alternative to proprietary architectures like ARM. This allows Chinese companies to design their own processors for AI chips, cloud computing, and even military applications without being beholden to Western intellectual property or export controls. Companies like Alibaba have made significant strides here. Then there's the monumental leap in large language models, LLMs. While OpenAI's ChatGPT and Google's Gemini captivated the world, Chinese firms like Baidu, with Ernie, and the startup DeepSeek AI have made stunning progress, particularly with open-source, open-weight models. DeepSeek's models have demonstrated performance on par with, and in some cases, even surpassing, their American counterparts, despite facing chip constraints. Baidu, traditionally a proponent of proprietary systems, has now open-sourced its flagship Ernie model, making high-performance AI more accessible and potentially undercutting Western licensing fees. This isn't just about catching up, it's about shifting the economic paradigm of AI development itself. Circumventing sanctions. By developing and relying on domestic open-source technologies, China can bypass restrictions on proprietary Western software and hardware. This builds resilience against future export controls. Cost efficiency. Open source significantly reduces development costs, allowing for rapid iteration and deployment, especially for startups and smaller enterprises. Talent cultivation. Contributing to and leading open source projects fosters a new generation of highly skilled software engineers and developers within China, creating a self-sustaining talent pipeline. Global influence. By open sourcing key technologies, China can encourage global adoption, particularly in the global south, thereby reducing dependency on Western tech stacks and expanding its digital footprint and soft power. This is a direct challenge to the traditional models of technological diffusion. Data sovereignty. By running their own open-source LLMs or cloud platforms, nations can maintain greater control over their data, a growing concern globally. The impact of this silent tsunami is already being felt. We're seeing Chinese companies rapidly deploying advanced AI models for everything from electric vehicles and robotics to healthcare and biotechnology. This surge in open-source development is not just about isolated projects, it's about building a comprehensive, full-stack alternative ecosystem to the traditionally Western-dominated one. While the Western tech industry is certainly aware of this trend, the response has been fragmented. Some argue for stricter controls, but as we've seen with chips, such measures can backfire by forcing greater self-reliance. Others advocate for increased engagement with Chinese open-source communities, recognizing the collaborative nature of the ecosystem. The truth is, the sheer scale of China's investment and the strategic foresight behind its open-source push mean that merely competing in the traditional sense might no longer be enough. The challenge for Western dominance is profound. If China can develop and widely propagate its own open-source operating systems, AI frameworks, chip designs, and cloud infrastructure, it could fundamentally alter the balance of power. Companies and governments globally might increasingly choose these robust, cost-effective, and sanction-resilient Chinese alternatives, eroding the market share and influence of established Western players. This isn't about replacing every single piece of Western technology, but about creating a viable, powerful, and increasingly attractive alternative, particularly for countries wary of single points of failure in their digital infrastructure. So, is China's open-source tech crushing Western dominance? Not a complete instantaneous obliteration, but it is undeniably exerting immense pressure, forcing a re-evaluation of long-held assumptions. It's a strategic long game being played out in lines of code and collaborative repositories, potentially reshaping the geopolitics of technology for decades to come. The era of unquestioned Western technological supremacy might be quietly but rapidly drawing to a close, replaced by a more multipolar tech world. This silent tsunami is real. Revo now nation, and its waves are just beginning to ripple across the globe. Understanding this shift is no longer optional. It's essential for anyone navigating the complexities of the 21st century. Now, we want to hear from you, the Revo Now community. What are your predictions for the future of global tech dominance in light of China's open-source strategy? Do you see this as a necessary evolution, or a worrying shift in power? Are Western companies and governments prepared for this new reality? Share your insights, your concerns, and your expertise in the comments below. Your perspective is invaluable in this evolving landscape. And looking ahead, what other hidden tech stories, geopolitical rivalries, or emerging innovations do you want us to dive into on Revo Now? Are there specific open-source projects from China or other regions you'd like us to explore in more detail? Let us know what you want to watch next, and your ideas could be our next deep dive. Thank you for joining us on this vital exploration. Stay vigilant, stay curious, and keep questioning the narratives. This is Revo Now signing off.